Trump has left everyone in stunned silence. Most not even aware of what just happened. But it happened. Go ahead, go through your mainstream headlines if you want to. Go on the websites, and most of you won't even see it because it doesn't exist. Because they won't touch it. They won't tell you what just happened. And do you know why? Is it that incendiary? Is it that problematic? Or is it simply that anti-agenda to them that they won't speak about it? Well, it's the story I'll bring you in 1 minute. Jump on HuffPost this morning. What are they covering? Oh, they're still on Trump's health. Many publications still focusing on Trump's health, almost as if they don't have anything to report on. Fox News, oh, we're worried about Venezuela. A little bit about gubernatorial races, panic in Pennsylvania. CNN is talking about Congress returning to a messy fall. Not a whole lot of much consequence. MSNBC, let's see what they're on. Louisiana AG's troubling bait and switch. And Ron DeSantis' alligator Alcatraz. What has Trump done here exactly? He's knocked the media into silence. He's taken away, their talking points? No. In actuality, he's brought order to chaos. The news cycle was driven off of chaos. It was driven off of what appeared to be legitimate news, but there was no news to be had. It was simply divide and conquer. But when you remove that from the news cycle, suddenly there's nothing to report on. When in actuality there is, because they won't report on what's happening behind the scenes. Have you noticed the amount of Democrat scandal happening lately? If you're listening to the mainstream media, you haven't. We've covered it for you. If you listen to CNN, MSNBC, many of the others, it's simply not there, right? They'll poke fun at Trump occasionally. Trump open to bringing back insane asylums. Can't have these people walking around. Now, if you listen to the mainstream spin on that, that's a bad thing. If you listen to the conservative publications, it might be a good thing. Simply trying to find a way to deal with the homeless crisis we have on our streets, but he's also trying to deal with the crime crisis we have on our streets. But man, they've tried to make him look bad on that, but then every time they try to make him look bad, it comes out that the folks in the city actually want what he's doing. Chicago's still next on deck, right? Trump baits everyone into arguments continually, doesn't he? Throws little things out there like the Presidential Medal of Freedom makes the left's head explode. Rudy Giuliani potentially being the next, or being announced as the next recipient. And that takes a little bit of news, but not the biggest story anybody should be covering. But there's just not that many left mouthpieces left anymore to push any stories. Now Howard Stern cancels comeback as he sends out the blue message to staff revealing he won't return from summer break, leaving his $500 million show right in limbo. The left is disappearing. Then we get news that Nadler, the pillar of Democratic Party's old guard, he's going to retire next year. Another one bites the dust, and we have more silence. You see, Trump's been successful in more ways than one, but again, still not the headline story because there's the biggest story of corruption out there right now, but silence. And why, you might ask? Is it that incendiary? Is it that problematic that people just won't talk about it? Wonder why that's happening. The story I'm going to bring you in a moment here, because this podcast gets rather long today because there's a lot of topics we have to talk about. Before I do, I want to thank you all again. This channel has taken off as we continue to cover all the important topics that nobody else seems to want to cover or won't cover. And for that, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for helping us to assure the algorithm knows this news matters by simply, again, subscribing if you're new here, double checking you're still subscribed, making sure your bell is checked all, providing a comment, providing a share. That lets these public platforms know that this is the style of news you like. And thank you for doing that, because now the channel is taking off, and that is because of you. Those of you who've gone over to our main platform at Restricted Republic, I can't thank you enough for that. That means the world to us. That's our private platform. I'm going to continue this podcast over there into something that's happening in Arizona. Maricopa County, to be more specific. It appears they're trying to delete some records over there. Do you know what that story's about? Rather interesting, to say the least, just like I did an exclusive video yesterday about these CDC resignations. Hope you guys got to watch it. I also want to give a special thanks to the folks over at Chapter who continue to help me bring you these videos, and in return, they provide you with something. It's a free phone call. Most people in under 20 minutes or less find out if they have the best Medicare or plan or not, either for themselves or for a loved one. I can't tell you how many people don't even realize they don't have the best Medicare options. And by this free phone call to 805-619-5011, they can find out. Again, and sometimes under 20 minutes or less. Isn't that the quickest way to find out if you can earn some more money today? Put some more money in your pocket? The average person who calls Chapter saves $1,100 a year. I can't tell you the amount of positive comments I get on this partnership, this 805-619-5011 phone number. They make a phone call, I get a comment that they've been helped. Some people think they have the best plan, and you might. And by making a phone call that's free, man, so there's no harm in it, because you might find out you could save some money today. What harm is there in that? I want you to call Chapter. My audience has already saved thousands by making that simple phone call. Give them a call. They're licensed Medicare professionals, and let them determine and help you determine if you truly do have the best plan or your loved one has the best plans. Give them a call. I absolutely adore these people, and they've done a great service to my audience. But now let's continue on to some of the stories that are brewing out there that nobody wants to cover, because Trump has silenced everyone simply by bringing order out of chaos and bringing light to what's happening, because suddenly all these scandals are coming out of the blue now. And all these scandals aren't Republican scandals anymore, are they? No, they're Democrat scandals now. How were these kept silent for so long? Ilhan Omar says she's barely worth thousands, let alone millions. You guys, how dare you even say that? As a matter of fact, she went on a little post here calling somebody a dummy. First of all, I haven't been in Congress for 8 years, and my net worth isn't $83 million. I know your brain is rotten from the conspiracy theories you're consuming daily, but try not to announce your stupidity to the world. My salary is $174,000 before taxes. I don't have stock or own a home and still paying off my student debt. And then she challenges this person. Maybe try checking my public financial statements and you'll see I barely have 1,000, let alone millions. Well, that's kind of a mistake, Ilhan Omar. Because when you make that challenge, people will take you up on that challenge, and they find something that's rather eye-opening. You went into Congress with a negative worth of $45,000. New records are showing that you might have a net worth of $30 million. A 66,000% increase in 6 years. That's rather impressive, huh? New York Post publishing on it too. Ilhan Omar's net worth skyrockets to as much as $30 million months after denying she was a millionaire. So let's go a little bit deeper here. Here was her tax, and what's worse is the time period. This tax period, 2023. You'll see not much value of assets here at all. 15,000, 1,000 to 15,000, 1,000 to 15,000, not a whole lot. It's fine. Looks like a lot of our statements. No big deal. Not judging her for that. She's a member of Congress, not supposed to make a whole lot of money. It's not a high-paying job, never has been. Never will be. Was never meant to be. This isn't the problem. But if you look here more specifically at the winery, worth 15 to 50, and not much in income, 200 to 1,000, and you look at these funds down below, there ain't much in the account, $200 to $1,000. Well, that's then. The winery, who they're also engaged into, Representative Ilhan Omar's husband accused of swindling investors in the winery, but we could push that argument aside for a moment. The venture capital firm that we're going to discuss here, remember in 2023, showed that they had just $42.44 in its bank account in February of 2024. $42.44, February of 2024. So I wonder what that year-end statement looked like. 5 million to 25 million. Oh, it's public record, financial disclosure report, Ilhan Omar. How do you go from $44.25 in a capital fund to 5 million to 25 million from February of that year till the end of the year? Man, that is luck unlike anything I've ever seen before. And also that little winery, man, its value also skyrocketed, didn't it? Up to 1 million to 5 million. So even on the low end here, if you took the low end at a range of 1 million and 5 million, you're at $6 million. If you take the high end, you're at 30 million. Now, if I look at that, I would say that would be a millionaire. Although Ilhan Omar contested, she wasn't. And you really got to be careful when you challenge people to look at your financial records. But does this hit CNN or MSNBC? Is anybody questioning how net worth skyrocketed 3,500% in just 1 year? Is she going to be challenged? Will there be an investigation from a person who said it was categorically false to call her a millionaire? You see, folks, the mainstream media has run a distraction campaign for so long because they want you to believe it's time to investigate President Trump. It's time. The Oval Office, let's see if the story's changed. Just to be fair to you real quick, let's just go into the HuffPost. Nope, hasn't changed. This is still the number one story today. Still the number one story. It's time. Ex-Politico editor has 6 blunt questions about Trump's health. Not what's happening with the Democrats. Not that Jerry Nadler's out. Not that Ilhan Omar has, well, what appears to be falsified, at least a statement to the American public about net worth. Not that the Democrats are falling apart. Not that we might be engaged in a world war. Not that we're simply, many of us, if you want to refinance your home, can't do it. Not that there's major issues out there. No, we're going to stay on Trump's health because the only storyline they've ever had is Orange Man bad. Because Trump has put him into such a state of silence by pulling back the layers of the onion that shows exactly where the trouble was, that they have no stories left. Their readership and viewership has crashed. People's eyes are open to all they've been fed is manipulation. When they pointed the finger of blame at the conservative publications for years, and in these moments when Congress is out of session, and people will say that's why the news cycle is down. Why? Because you don't have the Democrats sitting in Capitol Hill. They can't work while they're out of session. They have nothing to say. They just simply get to leave their jobs for months on end and not do anything. Wow. And then their net worth can change to the degree I just showed you. If that's the case, folks, that's never how it was meant to be. So what did Trump do? He brought order to chaos. He shined a light in the darkest corners of Capitol Hill. And when you do that, you see what scatters out of the darkest corners, don't you? And that's what we're watching right now. And I'll continue to expose what they're not covering for you, because these are the stories no one sees, including now we're going to continue forward, not only into Michigan Democrats caught in a $5 billion fraud scheme. No, we're going to skip, that's only a portion of the story. But what's happening out there in Arizona in Maricopa County to be more specific. And why? Suddenly, it appears several records are being, deleted. Oh, it's because the mail system is full. And it's normal procedure, which ties into what Kristi Noem announced, that there was burn bags found. All about the same story that points back to Arizona. And we're going to go in great detail, and there's reason why I'm going to bring it over to the other platform, because these are the topics by rules can't discuss here. Wish we could, really do, but we adhere to the rules and regulations of these platforms for very good reason. I'd love you to move over with me. Again, restrictedrepublic.com. Make the leap over, and you'll find out some things that are going to be very eye-opening is what we cover over there. The little details that go in to paint the rest of the picture. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.